So let me share my screen. On today's assignment, notice that this video is 32 minutes long. That's a very long video. It may take you longer to get through it. So I'm going to have this same assignment for today and tomorrow. We will do a Zoom meeting, but what I'm going to let you do is, as soon as I'm finished speaking, I want you to click on this first to open up a program called Photopia. Photopia is an application online that looks a whole lot like Photoshop, if you've ever heard of Photoshop. So after you've got Photopia open, click back on this tab and then click on the video. And I would suggest clicking on YouTube here so that you now have you'll have three tabs open. You'll have the Google Classroom assignment that shows the instructions. You'll have the YouTube video open, which I strongly suggest you click on the full screen to watch. And then as you're watching it, you can pause the video to tab back over to Photopia and try the process that's shown on the video. The way you do that is you hold your thumb on the control key on your keyboard and tap the tab key. So now I'm in Photopia and I can open up my document. Your screen is going to look a little bit differently because there's an advertisement over here on the right-hand side. I pay $40 a year so that I don't have the advertisement there. It also gives me more space to work. So when I minimize, this is how you minimize and maximize the menus over here on the right. The main one you're going to be using is called layers. So if you click on where it says lay, you're going to open up your file, or if you want to, you can take a picture of it with whatever device you're using, or you can open it up from a URL. I'm not sure how well this works in Google Drive, so let's try that real quick. If it will let me open up something from my Google Drive. Let me try this one more time. Preview. Oh, look, it lets you open it up with Photopia. So what I did was I right mouse clicked on the image. I selected preview, and up here at the top, it'll ask you what application you want to open it with. If you click on this right tab right here, I already have Photopia loaded on here, so what you'll have to do is you'll have to select Connect More Apps. And then you can look for Photopia in here. I've already got it installed, but basically you would click it. And then in here, once it comes in here, you would just select it from down here. So that will open up that document from Google Drive. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start adding layers by clicking this symbol right here. Notice when I put my mouse over the top of something like this, see how that little window pops up? That tells you what that tool is. You're going to primarily be using the brush tool. But the first thing you're going to do before you use the brush tool is you're going to select over here, click on this little thing next to the trash can and select a new layer. I'm going to double click where it says layer, and I'm going to call this ink. My color currently is set to red. This is the foreground color. This is the background color. I'm going to click on the brush. And then I'm going to zoom in by holding the control key down and tapping the plus to make it larger. And then I'm just going to carefully start going over. If your drawing is very dark like this, use a different color like red or blue or whatever, and we can change that color later. But you're just going to carefully go over all of your drawing like this, and the video will show you how to do this. One of the nicest things about Photopea is that while I'm working on my drawing, I can go to File, Publish Online, and select PSD. Watch what happens at the top of the screen up here when I click Publish PSD. It's going to open up another tab in Photopea. Click OK. So if you noticed, here's the drawing. It already has the red on it. I can close this one and work on this one. But one thing you definitely want to do is you want to click up here in the address and copy this address, and then go to your Google Drive and select New, Google Docs, blank document, and I want to call this Photopea Links. And then down here, I'm just going to paste it in here and hit enter. So here's the cool thing about it. I can close this window. I can close all these other windows, including Photopea. And when I go back to my Google Classroom later this afternoon, tomorrow, next week, click on plus to get a new tab. Go to your Google Drive. Over here, select Recent. Open up my Photopea links. And when I click on here, it's going to take me to where I left off. So you can just continue working on your drawing in here. So here's the way class is going to be today and tomorrow. We're going to check in for Zoom. I'm going to leave this assignment up here. Note that it's due tomorrow at the end of the day. Or actually, that's Friday at the end of the day. Is that right? 25th? Anyway, the assignment's worth 10 points. And you're going to colorize that image and save the link in a Google Doc called Photopea Links. Do me a favor, and after you save it, or after you type in Photopea Links, also put in your first initial and last name. And don't misspell it like I just misspelled mine. Please make sure this is your first name, your first initial and your last name. And then you'll always have access to your Photopea drawing with that link. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And what I'm going to say is, make sure to always, when you come into Google Classroom, make sure to always say hello in the chat. You don't necessarily have to say goodbye. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the Zoom meeting every day with a little bit of an instruction like this. And then when there's a large assignment like this, like I said, this might take you 2 days to do, or maybe 3. I'm going to leave the Zoom meeting open, but you can log out As long as you understand my instructions, you can go ahead and log out. As long as you've said hello in the chat and you understand, but you can always log back in because this Zoom meeting will be open for the entire class period, which in this case is another 35 minutes. So if there are no questions, I've already taken all your names. Say hello in the chat or goodbye in the chat. And if you have any questions, you can hang out. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in the morning.